What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, what we're going to be talking about is reducing volume leading into competition. So, what a mistake that I sometimes see and that I have made myself numerous times is reducing volume a little bit too much leading into a competition. Now, obviously, as we get closer to competition, we need to become more specific towards that competition. So that's why, singles may be introduced, and we might be doing max doubles or max triples that are going to allow us to kind of see, work with higher intensities and just become a little bit more specific to the powerlifting competition itself. Now, to do this, we also need to realise that, okay, based off of the training cycle we just had, we will have accumulated a fatigue debt. So for us to become more ready for the competition, we need to reduce volume a little bit, which will allow us to dissipate the fatigue debt or the accumulated fatigue debt over the cycle, which will allow us to become more ready. So that is a good thing and something that definitely needs to be done. But often I see people reduce volume just a little bit too much, and they back off volume far too much. And then what happens is they have a terrible competition, and they're not very sure why. And this has happened to me before. Now, as every single training cycle goes on, you are going to need to do more volume. Okay. That is what's going to happen. Even if you kept, for example, every single set and rep the same from one training cycle to the next, ideally, if you're lifting more weight for those sets and reps, so if you kept 80% for 3-5s, well, that 80% loading is going to be higher than what it previously was. That means your volume's higher. So that means that each cycle, if you're programming properly, your work capacity is going to be higher. So it means that you're going to need to hold more volume in your training cycle leading into competition. So although volume does need to be reduced leading into competition to dissipate that fatigue debt, don't be scared to keep relatively high volume leading into it and leading right into the taper, because what tends to happen is that if you reduce your volume too much, then yes, you may become more ready and you might feel a little bit better and fresher because your fatigue debt has been reduced. What happens is that you often neurally can detrain a little bit, and things can go a little bit backwards, and it's something that I feel happens is the cause of why a lot of people have bad competitions without understanding why. So again, example, in this video, all you're kind of seeing is top sets, but on Monday, I had 302.5 kilos for a double in squats. I backed that off with sets of, I had 4 sets of 6, and I had 1 set of 6 in squats. I had my top triple in bench press, and then I had 6 sets of 4 with 160 kilos. I did 4 sets of 7 in lunges. I had pendlay rows on my deadlifts. You saw my top loading double, but I backed that off with 6 sets of doubles with 600 pounds. And the reason I don't include all that stuff is so that the video doesn't become too long and too boring. But my volume right now is still pretty relatively high. It is very high, and furthermore, it's the highest it's ever been leading into a competition. But that's also because my work capacity is the highest it's ever been leading into a competition. So therefore, for me not to detrain, I need to hold more volume as close as possible into the competition, and then the final week, that's when you can be a bit more aggressive with reducing your volume, so that you kind of aggressively and quickly lose that fatigue debt, but you won't lose, or you won't neurally detrain the movement patterns and the motor patterns. So it's just some food for thought, guys. If you maybe are leading into competition, or if you're consistently having bad competitions with your meet prep going so well, and then all of a sudden you just have a quick drop off, it may be because you're just reducing volume a little bit too much. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.